parallel sessions are running on and people may find it some time to come over here. But let's respect the time box and we'll keep going. So, how many of you are aware of the topic or what we are going to talk about over here? Anyone? Alright, so the topic for this session is an exciting journey from raw idea to a high fidelity concept. And welcome to all of you. I believe that you all are the creative designers who all think that they are not creative in person. Okay? Alright, so let's do one thing, a small game. Before next to you in 45 seconds. Just, no, so you passed it on and somebody built it.
So beautiful.
So you have to build a portrait for the person sitting next to you. Or if you don't want to build your partner's photo, you can build mine. Yeah, they can do that. Right. In the next 45 seconds.
Can you show me your face?
Oh, nice. Alright, come back. Okay, let me introduce. So this is my friend Dumbo. Whenever we go together and he helps me facilitate the session. So I am a little lenient guy on the time box, but Dumbo is not. So whenever Dumbo calls you back, you have to pay your attention back to the room. Alright? So you guys need more time? Okay. So let's see how you felt. Just do one thing. Start showing the photo what you have drawn of the other person and get a feedback that how is it. Oh, everybody drawn mine.
Yes, yours.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? You guys share the photograph with each other?
Very busy.
Okay. Just show it. And what is the general feeling? What do you guys feel? What do you guys feel?
Very less time.
Very less time? Bad? So, it is a research, scientific research done some time back that in our age when we were 1 to 8 somewhere, somebody told us that you cannot draw. And that created a boundary around us and we are not doing good in that part of, artistic part of it. So, being artistic doesn't mean being creative. They are two different things. It's not that you need to be artistic to be creative. Willingness to do something is drawing you to be creative. You took your pen and started drawing it, that was your creative side. To be creative, you don't need to be artistic. So, the learning outcome of this session, while we will close the session after 1 hour, design thinking is a big topic. It takes 2 days complete workshop to explain each and every concept. But what I can do in this next 1 hour, we'll try to bring design thinking in life. That's what will be the learning outcome, the first one. And creating or solving problems together in a creative way. That's what we are going to derive out of this session. Make sense? Alright. Another activity. I will give you guys 1 minute to look around you. Just look around you and see that what all things are around you and what you can see in terms of the design. Do you see design in anything? Look around you. Just don't talk. Just look around and see that what are the things in which you can see the designs. Alright? Now take your pen and write that one thing in which you have not seen the design. Design is something which is there in everything. It is there in your hairs, it is there in your clothes, it is there in the human, it is there in everything. It may be bad design, it may be good design, but design is everywhere. Okay, another exercise. This time you have to close your eyes and you have to go back in the past. I will give you 1 more minute. And this what you have to do. You have to maybe go 1 month back or 2 months back or how much ever you can go back in this 1 minute. And you have to think about the designs which you felt was good and the designs you felt was not good. It was a bad design. Make sense? 1 minute. Close your eyes. Go back in thinking. And think of the examples of the good designs and bad designs. Close your eyes. Alright, come back. Come back. Take your pencil and the notepad. Draw a line. Write whatever you have thought of good design and write whatever you have thought of bad design. If you are done doing on the table, discuss together and identify that from each table how many good design examples are there and how many bad design examples are there. Discuss among each other. Explain that what are the good designs for you, why, what are the bad designs, why. So you have to talk to each other for this.
I was a bad design was my office chair. Because every time I was sitting there, I used to always go back. It was uncomfortable for me. The sour room in the hotel, which we're at listing, it was a bad design. Holiday Express.
Staying there.
But I find it very bad. Good design, I don't remember. But I would say, so we have those designs. So it's not a good design, it's an okay design. So my mom
charger steps onto the switch, which is the bad
every night while sleeping.
So I have a shower in my kitchen.
Let's then press your
Red and
board.
white. There's a
And while that was a very innovative design,
so dirty.
what I did was some masks which just was compulsory. But
So try that in the next 1 minute, whoever has not talked, get an opportunity to talk and share this. These are all experiences.
red gets sucked in, so that kind of gives us give a good guidance. So that way I would say it was a good design.
Alright, so I think it was a great discussion, good laughs, good interaction, and you guys have already started discovering the examples of good design and bad design. One more thing for me. Together on the table, can you just find out the numbers of the good design you guys identified and the number of bad designs you identified? How many on this table? Together on the table. Together on the table, number of good design, number of bad design. Okay, so how many you have? 5 good, 5 bad. Okay.
Okay, 4 good and 5 bad.
4 good and 5 bad from that table. Okay. How much from this table?
0.
3 good and 5 bad. How much from this?
I have to do
7 good, 4 bad. How much from that table? How much from total from this table?
So we probably have 2 or 3 good, rest are bad.
And what is the number of that? 8? Alright. So here are the numbers which came from all the tables. Can you see a pattern over here? And what is the pattern?
4 bad.
it is very easy to remember the designs which are bad rather than remembering the designs which are good. You guys are exceptions, but the pattern if you see over here, which is in the design thinking generally, it is a part of the design thinking course. And when 1980 started in Stanford University, the first time they brought the design thinking in course, and then IDEO took it to the next level. IDEO is the design thinking organization. The common trend what we see that people are more inclined toward remembering what is bad in the design rather than appreciating what is good in the design. The reason for this, the design is all about human. The design is all about human. So, before I start the next part of the session, my request that leave this table. I'm a backbencher mainly, so I prefer appreciating the backbencher. Leave these two tables. Go back to the table behind, preferably 4 on each table. Self-organized, quickly. Preferably 4 on each table. So you guys are precisely 22 to 24, I think. If it is more than 4, we will see.
Would we need
We have one more last one.
Would we need post-it? We don't.
That I will take care of.
We'll see.
So, okay. You can join.
There.
4 there, 4 there. You guys are how many? 5. You guys are 5. So, you guys form a group over here. Come. One of 5. Great. So now we have, just go there. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have total 5 groups. I will tell you what we have to do with this group, but before coming back to the design part of it. But you guys discovered, okay, so there are few news before we start. There are good news and bad news. The bad news that I am not expert of design thinking, and I am not going to preach anything over here. Good news, I am a practitioner. I have practiced this all around my life, and I am going to talk about what I have practiced. So there are news, good or bad, you can identify by yourself. Bad news, I don't have PPTs. Good news, I have something to refer back. You guys can click picture and go back. Another news, you have to do a lot of activity, good or bad, I don't know. So let's see, the first one coming to the design. So what is design? How something looks like. That is design. The way we interact with things. That is design. So there are only 2 angles which is in terms of the design. How does this, can I call the bell? How the bell looks, beautiful design. How this work when a human interact with this. That's the design part. If I go to the detail of it, the wooden handle and beautiful brass and paintings and all these are all part of the design. Now, design is discovering the real human needs. When we talk about design, it's about the need versus want. And it starts with needs. Design is discovering the real human needs and creating the solution around that. Creating the solution around that needs. Now, when we have a need, we have a want, we need to create and solve that problem. That's what the design all about. So it is all about the solving the problem, but efficiently, effectively, and elegantly. If you consider all these things, it will help you design something in a good way. And don't worry if people forget that. We should aim for creating something which is having a good design. Okay, another thing, I need a volunteer, but volunteer in the term of who have not got this yesterday? Okay, I see 4 hands. Okay, many people have not got it. And you don't know also that what is it. Okay, so maybe I will take you because I know Surbi, so it will be a bias. Come over here. So in 30 seconds, if you can explain me that what is this completely, I will give it to you. Done, yeah? Explain what is this. Done. Explain what is this.
maybe a diffuser or something,
Okay.
or a paperweight with a light inside it.
Okay. What is this? Good that I'm not giving it.
Pen stand.
And
4 USB hub turns 1 USB port into 4. Built-in wire folds in when not being used. 4 USB ports capable of handling USB drives and hard disks. Built-in mobile stand. Slide out to reveal. Can be used to watch videos while charging your phone. Button under the wire to adjust lamp lights.
this is an amazing product. Lot of things in it. Here. This is an amazing product. Lot of things in it. But when it is coming in my hand, I literally struggled yesterday for 2-3 minutes. I was not fair to you. That what is this? And the only thing I could guess is that it is a pen stand. And then in the box there was this manual, and I started reading the manual. I discovered that there is a USB port. If I plug this in, this will start illuminating. So it becomes a lamp. Then there are 4 USB ports which will be used for the charging. Amazing product, but no intuitiveness. So that's about somebody thought about a problem, somebody tried to solve that problem, but he have not put the enough design thinking part of it. He has solved multiple level of problems in one thing, but it's not intuitive. What's the good name?
Ayush.
Thanks for being a sport, and this is a gift for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And coming to the, and by the way, whoever wants it, there is Agile Alliance counter over there. There was a lot of this over there product.
But you have put yourself in trouble by saying that this is not a design thinking in this product. Agile is product.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are a lot of ideas they have given into this. But how about to make it more intuitive? I'm going to give you another big example for which I will be again in the trouble, but I will give it back. So because that's my job over here. And बिहार में से हूँ और बिहार में एक कहावत होती है कि मुफ्त के बैल के दांत नहीं देखे जाते।
Exactly, that's what I said.
So, वो मुफ्त का है, दांत तो नहीं देखना है उसका, but still. So, okay. Coming back to the design thinking part of it, so there are 3 elements of it: human, business, and technology. And it is the element in everything. The need of business will keep changing. The way to solve will keep changing. The technology will also keep upgrading. What will not change? The only variable which will not change is the human. And the center part of all these 3 is nothing but the design thinking. Make sense? Now, you have to do one thing. Before this session, before listening to this, what was design thinking for you? Take a sticky individually, write it over there and put it and bring it and put it over here. Yeah, and you guys can keep walking. I recently learned that the more you walk, the more you will get oxygen to the brain. So it's good for you. So write quickly in another 1 minute and it should be here. What is design thinking you thought before this class? At 11:25, I will give you 1 minute more. What was your knowledge of design thinking? Just anything. It can be, nothing can be wrong or right. Just bring it and put it over here. And it will be great if you can put your name. Yeah, keep walking, you will get more oxygen to the brain. So if you'll see, I'm not facilitating this workshop. We together are co-facilitating this workshop. And thanks for being this engaged. All right. and even Dumbo is also helping us.
That's why he's keep quiet. He's quiet.
Right now, because it's not 11:26.
I think he's happy. That's why.
All right. Coming back. So the understanding what my audience had is that problem ahead of solution, problem solving is human-centric approach, perception, imagination, innovation, solution, human interactive experiments, creating intuitive product, innovation keeping user in mind. So a pattern what I can see over here is three things. There is a customer, there is somebody who is using it, there is a problem to be solved. So there are three aspects of whatever the information you have given over here. Now, few things you should keep in the mind when you are thinking about the design thinking. End users are often different than customers. End users are often different than the customers. And we should prioritize solving the problem from the end user perspective. Agree? We should ensure that the experience for the end user is getting the best of the experience in whatever we learn in our capacity. And we can make them delighted with that, well and good. If we cannot, at least we are taking care of the basic needs and the backbone of it. But yeah, when it comes for the design thinking part, delighting is one of the aspects definitely needs to be taken care of. And you make a product which is lovable. Now we'll see that how you can make a lovable product. One more question, back to you guys. What is that one thing which 98% of the time we don't buy by ourselves and bring to the office every day, apart from laptop and ID card?
We don't buy ourselves.
Yeah. 98% of the time, yeah.
You get tangible, not tangible.
Lunchbox.
Lunchbox you buy by yourself.
Water bottle.
Water bottle to the extent, but many people prefer started buying their own copper bottle, IDA I said, laptop and IDA.
Laptop bag.
Amazing, thank you. Laptop bag is something which is given by the organization 98% of the time and you don't buy it. So end user is someone else, customer is someone else. Giving a live example, before coming over here, Thursday we had a workshop and in that workshop all the coaches got this bag. The special thing about this bag is this is a ghost bag. You cannot open it from this side. You can only open it from this side. Beautiful product. Okay? But when it came to my hand, I was again disappointed. It's not that I'm a very disappointing guy, but I was disappointed because I need a lot of place to keep my charger, my headphone, my tapes, my sketch pen, and there is no compartment for it. You see that? So there is a laptop bag which have multiple aspects. It have a bottle tagger over here, it have a USB charger over here, high-tech bag. But the basic needs are not taken care. So now on the table, if you are four, you have to make a, yeah.
So you always judge or disappointed by the free goodies or?
No,
I would keep it. I would keep that.
I'm still keeping it. I'm not giving it back to you.
Ashish, on a serious note,
Yeah.
probably you are a person who carries so many accessories with you.
True.
I don't.
True.
I probably will have at the most a charger,
Yeah.
probably a headphone, bag, or probably a diary.
So
that's pretty much it.
that's
I
where
wouldn't
we
have
are-
a tape, I wouldn't have XYZ things.
True. So that's where we are bringing the end user perspective. When they were giving this back to the people, the set of the end user were coaches. All the set of end user were coaches. And हमारे पास पूरा बैग होता है, sticky notes होती है, tape होता है, sketch pen होता है. So now the exercise what we will do, and why I have distributed you with a group of 4. Still there is a table which is more than 4. That is the table which is crowded and you guys are participating? No? Participate, it will be fun for you. Come and sit on this table, 3 of you. Or be there, you, I will give something to you. So what you have to do, now you have to create a pair.
So one of you can come.
You are 5, okay. One of you would...
We are three.
We are 3, one of we can accommodate.
Rohan, just turn that. Rohan, just turn that. Okay. So, create a pair. On that table, create a pair. And you have to work with that person going forward for the next 40 minutes? Yeah, for the next 40 minutes, you have to work with that person to make a good friendship with that. Okay, so now what we'll do, in the example I'm going to give you, on which we will do the design thinking aspect of it. In the first play, you will be customer for me. I'm the end user of that laptop. You are customer for me. And you are the designer. In the second play of the second iteration, you will be the customer for me. And you will be the designer. Okay? Clear everyone? I'm the end user for everybody. How we'll do it, I will keep telling you, but I'm the end user for everybody. For one iteration, you are the customer. For the second iteration, you are designer. And rest of all the activity, everybody is designer in pairs. So be good friend with your pair, because for the next 40 minutes, you have to be good with that. Now, we talked about design, we talked about design thinking, we talked about solving problems, but there should be a structure around it. We cannot really go and start doing everything in a way. So, when I was working in Cisco, okay, I forgot to give my introduction. That's a good time to give my introduction. So, I'm Ashish. The name is clear over here. I work with Siemens right now as an Agile Learning coach. I'm very fascinated with the good products, and I run the COE over there, which includes the UX guy, designers, and the product owner mainly. So I'm the product discovery guy. I follow Jeff Patton a lot, Roman Pichler a lot, Mike Cohen a lot. So my favorite area is testing and product discovery. So that's a bit about me. I'm also IC Agile authorized instructor for Agile coaching and Agile team facilitation. So facilitation is another aspect which I enjoy, which I know that we keep talking about liberating structure. So the session is coming up, you guys can go and attend. So that's a bit about me, and again this entire session is based on the facilitation part of it. Coming back to the framework aspect or the structure aspect of the design thinking. So while we were in Cisco, we worked on something which is called design thinking framework, which is proprietary thing of Cisco, but they have a word that you can go and spread it for the people use. So the design thinking framework looks something like this. There are two guardrails that you have to make things, and when you are making things, you have to validate with your user. Those are the two guardrails which will always be there. And the journey of anything starts with what next. If you take example of that bag only, that bag is a beautiful bag. It started somewhere, but there will be always a what next for a user like me. For you, it is kind of closer, but there is always a user who have some more needs. They will want more. So, what next? So it starts with a concept called raw ideas, and this raw idea validates with the first flow, which is called discovery phase. In that discovery phase, we identify that what we really need to build. And we make that thing in the first iteration. And then we validate with the user. Then we go to the second phase, which is called define phase. In the define phase, we define the problem, that which problem I'm trying to solve exactly. And then I again validate with the user. Then I go to the exploration mode, that whatever I'm going to build is built in the right way or not. And then I validate it again. And finally, it comes as a high fidelity concept. The moment you have the concept, our investment decision needs to be built upon that, whether we need to invest on that or not, and then you start executing it. Take example of Practo. Like whenever I see Practo, I feel sad. Not because they are doing bad, they are doing great, but because this idea came to me many years back. And when I said to my friend that this is a raw idea, we should start working on, they said that you are nuts. So I have not put my raw idea into this phase, and I have not started exploring to create a high fidelity concept. I lost it. Because nobody told me that time the design thinking concept of it. So that's how you have to start doing it. Design thinking also works on some principles. The first principle, put the user first. Make sense? Second principle, keep it simple. As simple as you can. Third principle, never stop evolving. Every product has something additional to be added. Never stop evolving. Find proactive solutions. Don't wait for other person to come and tell you that you need to change that. You can start iterating and you can find a proactive solution for that. Dare to delight. There is always a scope to delight the customers over there. And build together. Okay, so from now on you have to be with me. If you're writing, drop the pen, because you can take the picture of it anytime. I will leave it over there, take the picture. Just be with me in the session. Okay?
Yeah. Do we ever see the marketplace or what is going on with the competition? I don't see.
Competitive analysis is coming in the define stage. It is there, coming.
Okay.
It is a design principle. Competitive analysis is something which is a tool, not the principle. So competitive analysis comes in the define stage. Okay, coming to the discovery of the opportunity, the first stage, which is discovery. And this discovery, what do we do? We talk to user to discover the opportunity. And how we identify that who are the users based on the need and the value they are getting out. That will define the user. We talk about user persona and all. These all things get defined with the either need or the value of it. Then what do your user need to accomplish? When you are identifying your user, when you are in discovery phase, when you are conducting an interview to the customer, you have to identify that what your user need to accomplish. And this will be identified with the motivation behind the behavior. It started with need, but you have to think about the want. Need was something, but want may be something different. Then why do they really want to change? Whatever they are choosing over here, why they really are choosing it? What is the reason for that? It may be the budget constraint. So you have to start thinking in this aspect of what is today's experience, what they have today, whether it is, like I'm happy over there, 80% I'm happy, only 20% I'm not happy. So what is the today's experience? What is the challenge over there? It is solving many of the things, but there are some unmet needs. I just need one compartment, I'm done. And then frustration. I'm frustrated because I don't know where to keep what. That's the frustration part of it. That's how you will identify the user and the user behavior. Now when you are in discovery phase, you should gather the user data. You should synthesize the insight. That when I got the data, what is the insight coming? What is the pattern coming out of? And then you have to validate that findings. And you have to identify a big opportunity around it. If we talk about the tools, that how we will do this, we can do it by interview. We can do it by dot voting, you can do it by observation, empathy map, ethnography, journey map, affinity diagram, so many things, which I cannot cover in next 40 minutes. So we will do a few things. We will start with the interview part. And I already told that in the first iteration you have to do interview of your customer. So how to conduct the interview? Should I tell? Or you guys are aware? Okay. So let me just take some time to tell that how to conduct the interview. The goal of conducting the interview is to gather the data and later the analyze and synthesize part of it. How you should do it? You should identify the problem space. When you are talking to your customer or end user, you should identify the problem space, that what you are trying to solve. Try to meet the people in their own environment. When you're going to conduct the interview, don't call them into your studio and start shouting, no, nation wants to know. Go to their environment if you really want to solve the problem, like Ravi's report. I'm not endorsing any of this. Okay? Observe the body language when you're talking to the person, in addition to the words they are talking. That person must be saying something to you, but body language is saying something else to that. Avoid asking directly that what you want. Nobody will give answer to those people, questions. Your questions should be open-ended, more open-ended. And end with an open invitation that, okay, I understood this, but with my understanding and I'll come back to you, can you validate that? That's the open invitation. Make sense? There is a cycle which goes to the interview. First you should introduce yourself, then what is you are trying to solve, build a rapport. Evoke stories that you know what, this happened, and then I wanted to do this. Then explore the emotion, that how that person and user or customer is feeling. And then you start questioning or making statements out of that. And then thanks and the wrap. That's how the interview goes. Now, if I have to give the examples of few good questions of the interview which you guys will be using over here. Like, what are the top 3 tasks you perform with this product? What are the challenges you are facing with this product? What improvements will make your life easier? So it's more customer centric, it's more user centric, it's more human centric. I'm not talking about problem here, I'm talking about human. That's how the interview should be conducted. Now, given enough theory, I would like you guys to start the interview part of it. On the table, you can decide that who wants to go first and who wants to go later. I'm giving the first iteration of 2.5 minutes for the first interview, then Dumbo will call out, and the second iteration of the interview. Make sense? First you can and then you can. Time starts now. No, right now it will be customer versus design. End user is coming in the next
You will be the customer, right?
laptop. Alright, so the question over here, the customer has to talk about the laptop bag. How to create the next gen high-tech laptop bag. That's the topic of interview. How to create the next gen high-tech laptop bag. Make sense? Customers, you guys have to gift me a next gen high-tech bag. So you guys give interview really nice. I'm telling you, I'm a very
I want to consult that you.
Not yet. Not yet. Okay, so you have first iteration of 2.5 minutes. I will call it back.
Let me introduce Aisha. Actually, not into the role and introducing me for that.
I'll just skip that, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Forget this. Now be on your own. Forget this. Just be yourself. Conduct the interview.
I'm working as a designer. I want swipe compartment in my laptop. And so I purchased to recently, I don't want to
They need a phone.
No, I don't have
Who are you? Who are in the team? Okay. So you have to interview them and they have to interview you. The first iteration they will interview you. Second iteration they will.
Something very compact, friendly, easy to use, and also.
Alright, guys. The interview should happen in a pair. It's not one-on-one. Alright, come back. Come back. Come back. One clarification. Come back, everyone. Where is my favorite guy?
I think we have to.
Okay. So the interview should happen. Who are the teammates in this team?
The designer.
No. So who are the pair in this team? We are the pair. So you guys have to interview them first. And then they have to interview you.
Oh, we already.
So you guys are doing it together. I said that for next for any interview you guys are together. Clear? So first, in the first iteration you are the customer and you are the interviewer. In the second iteration you are the interviewer and they are the customer. Okay? So I'm giving you the last 1 minute for the interview. Yeah. Okay, I will give it. You are customer, I'm end. You have to create a next generation.
Hi, this is Aisha. From Rising.
Yeah.
I'm a regular designer. Recently, since the leaf is good, this population has been and all of us carry
some workshops.
and also we have artificial needs, necessity, accessories, and also we want to design a bag that is well what we need,
Change of iteration. Change. Change of iteration.
So
And now you are selling us your bag, or you're
no,
asking us?
so this is like something that we are looking at, but we wanted
This guys are interviewed already.
So,
Change of hydration.
what do you want to know?
So what would you look at a bag? When you buy a bag, what would you look at?
You guys already interviewed them?
No.
Change of hydration.
Now we have to go to the
Yes,
last that
good.
question.
Just continue.
You guys already interviewed them?
Convenient, like almost observe the inside. But at the same time, it doesn't look ugly.
So the outer
Yes.
look and it should accommodate a huge bunch of items.
Yes.
So, if I'm a trainer, it should allow me organization of my stuff. Compartments or some little bags inside or some way to and also since I'm carrying a mobility wardrobe escape because there's something inside or be able to separate things inside. If say the pen breaks inside, then it doesn't work at all.
I would use it for travel. Yeah, travel as in water. When you can travel.
All right, time's up. Time's up. All right, guys, time's up. Time's up. Come back. भैया एक मिनट ले आओ. Okay. So now we are going to the second tool, which is called observation. ये बैग आपका है. कैसे यूज करोगे? He is the end user for you people. इसको कैसे यूज करेंगे? क्या है? तो बैग देखे क्या होता है? You guys have to observe me very carefully. Laptop है, that's what he said. क्या क्या कर सकते हैं इस बैग के साथ? I'm talking in Hindi because so I asked that what all he can do with this bag. हाँ? मतलब बैग देख के क्या लग रहा है? ठीक लग रहा है आपको? यूज हो पाएगा? वो सारा सामान डाल लोगे आप मुझे लेके आए हो? बैग दे दिया आपको तो मतलब ठीक है आपके? और कैसा फील हो रहा है मतलब बैग देख के? अच्छा है? क्या क्या कितने कंपार्टमेंट है? देख के बताओगे क्या है? पॉकेट्स कितने हैं? पाँच छह हैं, ठीक है। इसमें क्या क्या दिख रहा है आपको इस बैग? मतलब क्या क्या फीचर दिख रहा है आपको इस बैग?
क्या कर सकते हो?
क्या क्या कर सकते हो इस बैग? कपड़े उपड़े? थैंक यू सर। व्हाट्स योर गुड नेम? सूरज। थैंक यू सूरज। So that's one end user. The second end user, which is this end user. Okay, fine. This bag has something which is illuminated in the night. Good. Charging cable. Good. It's opening completely. Great. Okay. Put something on the cover when it's raining. Great. Compartment to put my iPad. Wonderful. Okay, fine. That's what the observation when any person is using that particular product. So this we called as observation. So as a designer, when you see somebody who is using the product, there are few things to observe. What do they do? First thing. What do they say? Second thing. What do they think? Third thing. What do they feel? Fourth thing. So that's what I was asking him all these four questions. That's what the observations comes out of. So now what you have to do in the second activity, which now you will do together, like all of you have taken interview. You have the customer ID as well, you have seen end user as well. So you have to create something, you have A4 sheets on your table. Together in a pair, you have to create something which is called empathy map. And there are sections like see and do, what you have seen and what the user have done. What you have seen that user was thinking about the bag. How does he feel? And based on these three things, you have to identify the pain and the gain. Make sense? Any clarity? That's what the empathy map. I'm giving you 4 minutes for it. I have given both the users to you. You are customer. You have to take them. So if you start thinking like VIP, aristocrat, a new company you want to launch, something like that.
We'll have to ask you questions.
No. You are designer. They are. Now it's a different rival organization.
Interview them.
We don't have
We don't have to interview. So you just tell us what you see, what you do, and we put it there. I mean, just please.
We try to do
We can do that also.
Based on whatever information you have, based on whatever observation you have.
Excuse me, sir.
Create the empathy map together. Based on who
Yeah, that's
you have to create the empathy map.
bring it together.
Customer have said
See and do thing.
what customer was thinking, how the end user was feeling. So the data you have to generate inside out of that. You will not get a fresh data. Whatever the data you have to create empathy map. You have to create this empathy map. 4 minutes. And you guys have to work together, you guys have to work together. Make sense?
We first look at this. See, teenagers.
Right now. We have some sort
Are you 4 working together or 2 working together? No. Team who worked in the first interview together, the team worked in the second interview. It's okay. Whatever the data you have to generate the insights out of that data. No new data.
So always
Now we are doing sort of.
Perfect.
they will put
So, but I need 2 empathy map out of this pair. I need 2 empathy map out of this pair.
Okay.
One from this pair, one from this pair.
back and your phone.
Whatever you have seen in the interview and the observation, you have to write it. Whatever you have seen the end user thinking, what you have to follow. So these 3 things become output for input for the team. So in the C end, you have to take the consider both the data, the interview data and what you have seen as It's only about the customer and the people who are using human problem solving.
Same I think. What is this for?
Last 1 minute. Last 1 minute.
Pen. Yeah.
Last 1 minute.
We put the pen now.
Yeah.
You said yes to everything.
They are up. I will just, once this exercise is done, I will ask for the. Okay, great. I know the trick, so I'm not. Okay, guys, come back. Come back. So we are at 11:56. We have next 10 minutes and 2 activities to do. Okay. Because we have done the discovery part of it, we have not yet done the define and the explore. Okay. So let's see that what is define. So defining is the problem to be solved. You guys created an empathy map, and in that you have identified the pain and the gain. It always need not to be a problem. It can be a solution also. It can be a delighter also. It's okay if you have nothing in the pain side. If you have everything in the gain, you are trying to add something more to the customer. That's the delighter factor of it. So, defining the problem to be solved. There are two aspects, problem and the solution. How we can define it? By identifying the user's biggest challenge. How you will determine that? By frustration and the pain. That there is something broken. Don't try to fix something which is not broken. What are some less obvious challenges when you are defining? The first was the safety of that laptop, that people should not open the zip and take it back. That was the biggest thing they were trying to solve. What are the less obvious challenges? The less obvious challenges is like extra compartments for putting usability part of it. So what are the root causes? What are the insightful problems? Those will help you to determine the second part of it, the less obvious challenge. The third is what must our solution do? Like what is the top priority or the related secondary problem? So every product have the first top thing and the second secondary thing if you'll see. Like this water bottle. The first priority for me is holding the water. The second priority, giving a grip so that I can drink it better. And you have मैंने अभी सोचा, right? So that's the two priority of this product over here. So that's how whoever have designed this bottle have thought about it. Maybe there will be third or fourth, whatever, but I can see clearly two things in this bottle. The first is way to hold the bottle. The second is the grip part of it. Now, have you validated with your user while you are doing all the sympathy map and all? Now you should validate with the user that this is what I have created, whether it is the same thing you are thinking or not. So your customer was there on the table itself. You could have just stopped to validate that I am going in this direction, whether I am going in the right direction or not. I have given you guys a space which no organization gives. So that's how it is. Now, how we can define the problem? By crafting that how might we. When we create the statement how might we, it should be focused on the user, that how might we help Suraj to use this bag in a better way, or how might we help Ashish to start using this bag in a further better way. That's how the how might be statement works.
Or how can we find the better overlap between Ashish and Suraj?
How interesting. Like what I want to say that it's human, not the problem, which you identified very clearly. That it is a single product used to be two different range of people. So the challenge, what happens during the phase when we are doing the discovery. The biggest challenge during our discovery phase is that we don't know that the user which we are using is the final user set or not. So the outcome of your first phase should look something like this. The discovery phase. The first outcome should look something like this, that you have identified the core user who are going to use it. What is the primary need? What is the user validated inside? Have you talked to your customers or not? And how the current solution looks like. So outcome कुछ ऐसा दिखना चाहिए. Somebody can help me put on the wall, Prabhat? Yeah. Can you put on that white paper? And then the common struggle we find during our discovery phase is that is this our broad use case? Like Suraj bhi hai, Ashish bhi hai, दोनों की different need है. Is this our broad use case? Are we asking enough open-ended questions during our interview? Are we letting people speak their mind? That's what the common struggle during the discovery part. So how you can avoid this? The key is to follow the user needs and problem and invest in empathy rather than ideation. Don't start solving the problem over there. Put yourself in the shoes of that other person. That's how you'll be able to solve it. That's the key point of it. And the checklist, if you talk about the discovery, the checklist looks something like this. Did we spend quality time with user? The first thing. Have we found the pattern in the user behavior? Second thing. Have we identified most critical idea of the pain point? That's third thing. So it's the whole thing in the discovery phase is trying to formulate and to reformulate, and then you find the pattern in the problem user in the problem and the user way of handling it. That's how about the first page. And thanks for reminding me कि ये मेरे पास है. Okay. Coming back to the defining of the problem. So the tools we use over is how might be competitive analysis, what you asked for, design criteria. You have a different design criteria, storyboards, role playing, and experience levels. So what we are going to do in the next 5 minutes is something called storyboard. And how do we create the storyboard? How many of you have read comics in their younger age? Is there? There are a few people whose hand is not up. Okay, and I'm surprised. Okay. So you have to create a storyboard in this fashion, which looks something like comic strips. And so the first strip will identify. अभी 5 मिनट है sir. Yeah. The first thing will be need, problem, and solution. And need will have the user associated with this. So that's how you have to create your storyboard. And you have to create your storyboard in such a way that you pass it to anyone and anyone will start building the story on that. Clear? 3 minutes? Can we give it a shot? Okay. So right now focus on this part, that in 3 minutes you come with these 3 strips so that if you give it to anyone, they will start building the story on top of it. Need, problem and solution. You have to create, comic strip and you have to do it together, like Rucha, and you have to do it together. हाँ, स्टोरी में साथ में बनाना है आपको something, दो
Need, problem, and solution. So you can to anybody, the person can just understand what we are doing.
Okay, I thought this one a while. They were talking about attending, one is travel, and another is attending research classes. So during that point, based upon the steps that you put, I found the scrolling is not good. Scrolling. And also handle, which is easy to carry. Which is easy to carry. I think that would avoid some issues in the travel. So what is the problem? Okay, the problem is carrying the items because you put lot many things in those bags. So when it is heavy, it's difficult for you to carry on your.
How would you draw that in a comic strip problem?
Last 30 seconds. You don't need to be perfect. You should have those things over there on which people can build the story. Last 30 seconds.
There should be
Problem.
All right, come back.
Nice.
Okay. So the outcome of this particular exercise should look something like this. Primary, you are very well aware that what is the primary problem you are trying to solve. While you know that what is the secondary problem as well. Plus, if possible, you have tertiary as well. Now, if you have a question that how many problems we should solve, my response is attempting to tackle more than 3 is clear medicine for the frustration. You should not go for more than 3 when you are solving any problem. It is a clear formula for the frustrations. So, any problem solving you are doing, you should opt for these 1 or 2 techniques also. There is always another phase to solve a problem. I remember one story, which is something happened with me some time back. I have a daughter who is going to be 4-year-old in another 20 days. So while one day I was back from office and I had something to finish it early, and she was like, she needs my attention. She was like, come play with me. And I usually keep puzzle boxes for my teams in the office. And I have difficulty arranging the puzzle boxes. So I gave her the most difficult one, thinking that it will take a lot of time for her. So I gave it to her. It was world map kind of thing. And in another 4 minutes he came back smiling. I thought, what happened? She said, completed. I said, how? Because personally for me also it would have taken more than 12-13 minutes. I said, how? He said, there is a face of the lady. I said, no. He said, no, there is a face of the lady on the behind of that puzzle. I saw the face of the lady. She was not solving the word map, she was solving the face of the lady, which was behind that puzzle. So there is always another part if you are solving a problem. That's how you should start looking any problem to be solved. So that should be the approach or the outcome of your second phase, which is define. The common struggle during the define phase is temptation to address each and every thing. You are tempted, you know, अरे मुझे सब पता है, 4 चीजें जानता हूँ, चारों सॉल्व करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Temptation to be vague and open-ended. थोड़ा ये कर देता हूँ, थोड़ा ये कर देता हूँ, थोड़ा ये कर देता हूँ. That is being vague. Be precise in one, close it. Be precise in second, close it. Leave it. Rather than being vague and open-ended everywhere. The third one, you are uninspiring your prototype which is coming into the next one. If you don't have enough information in this define phase, which is coming from the discovery phase, you may falter in the explore phase. So that's the common struggle. Now, how you can come out of this? So you should limit your solutions, you should focus on the problem, and you should build directly what you are building for the end user. That's how you limit it. Checklist looks something like this. Did we define most impactful problem? Have we validated with user? How many of people again this time validated with the user on the table? You guys did the same mistake. So user validation is key. And for you in the space when user is sitting on the same table, still you are not doing it. Are we confident and energized by what we found? Are you guys confident? Energized what you have done till now? How's the Joes?
Yeah,
How's the Joes? How's the Joes? Okay. So with that, we'll go to the last section, which is another 2 minutes or 3 minutes before we close this session. And this is a 2-day workshop. I'm not doing justice in rushing, I know, but I don't want to teach you design thinking. I want to give that idea or the thought in the mind that there is something like this, for which if you want to build more, you can study by yourself, you can contact me, we can have a further larger workshop after this, maybe something like that. So that was the whole intent, not to teach the entire design thinking end to end. Coming to the explore, what we should do in exploration. We have the possibilities down on the table. You have created an empathy map. So you should start exploring the creative possibilities. I know that I had a problem and I have to fix it. I have to fix it before going to the next one. That's what creative possibility exploration. How you will do that? How can we creatively explore how can we creatively solve the problem? By ideating. If you have done it in the first time, well and good. If not, don't worry, reiterate. Keep ideating. In the individual form, then go with the groups, then go with the teams and get aligned when you are doing it. That's very important. What is the quickest way to test each idea? Like, if you have a hypothesis, do you validate it? Go to the customer, go to the end user, they are sitting in the room. That's how you should define that how to validate it. And do you have evidence when you are creating something pain or gain over there? Do you have evidence to support that pain or gain? How you support that hypothesis? That's the third thing. And you can do by brainstorming creative solutions. You can sketch low fidelity concept, what we did just now. You can create prototypes, which we don't have time to do, but you can do it. And the tools over here is like time-bound brainstorming, Crazy 8, dot voting, low fidelity concept sketching, interactive prototype, concept testing, or validating interview. So the last activity we'll do for 2 minutes is, you have to take a A4 sheet paper, fold it into 4 quadrants.
Ashish, yes, a request, last 2 minutes.
Yeah, last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes. Okay, you have to fold it, and once you have folded, you have to create something like this. Easy in implementation, difficult in implementation, high in impact. Okay, so this line is implementation part, down is easy, Up is difficult. This side is high in the impact part. This side is low in the impact part. So you have x-axis, y-axis. X-axis is the implementation, y-axis is impact. The downside is low and right side is high. Clear? Okay, I will.
X-axis is
Yeah.
This is what low has.
Impact is high to low.
Okay.
High ऊपर.
So implementation.
Create this. Clear, everyone? Clear? Okay. So what you have to do, you have to write one thing in these areas. If you can think of based on your previous empathy map. Can you? So this is how we explore. You had multiple things. You have diverged. Now you have to converge. So whatever falls, okay, come back. Whatever falls in the section of high impact and easy to implement is something which you have to build for the customer. That's how we converge the exploration part. Make sense? Alright, coming back, the last part of this particular exercise, the outcome should look like this. The common struggle during the exploration is that fear of pitching the dumb idea. That is my idea, a dumb idea. That's the fear. You should come out of that by giving a pause, by stepping back, by looking around and finding the bigger picture you want to solve. That's how we should do it. Okay guys? It's okay. It's okay. Come back. So the whole idea that whatever you are finding, you are going to explore, it should be in the high impact and easy to implement. That's how it should be. Yeah, that's how you should start. Okay, the last part, which is the closing part of it. Anything gets designed, and I have also designed my session. And we should close any of this with a user validation by feedback. So what we will do in the last 1 minute, we'll go for the feedback, and this time the feedback will be for this session in terms of plus what you added for yourself in this session, delta, what was missing in this session which you were looking for, what was the aha moment for you, and is there anything I need to add, or is there any open-ended questions over there? So quickly, last 2 minutes, write on the post-it and bring it over here. Clear what 4 things you need to write?
Here also there is some.
That's how I'm taking feedback for my session. And please bring it over here and put it back.
And do the
Okay, so just give me last 1 minute and then we are done.
photos will you share?
Yeah, you guys can click photo, just give me 1 minute and then you can start clicking the photograph. So where we started, we said that the session is going to help you start putting the design thinking in the life. That was the intent. I hope we achieved that. So that you will start looking in the problem in a different aspect, start solving in the creative way, and you start doing it together. Thanks for being great audience. I know that it was a time crunch, but thank you all for the engaging participation. Thanks a lot.
So just a quick, I mean, on